I'm here at Fällfors, Sweden, this very nice arena for drifting and racing, and it's Drift Masters, the European Championship. A lot of really nice cars, teams and awesome drivers here. So I walked through the pits and look on the engines and the cars. Some technical details maybe we can find what the guys are using here. In my opinion, the best drift driver in the world is Freddy Osba from Norway, or this guy, James Dean from Ireland. Looks like he have some problems here. They have removed the gearbox. Also in 2J, he was competing in Russia last season, and I think it was planned to drive in Russia this year as well, 2022, but as you all know, nobody wants to go to that country anymore. The gearbox is down, it's an Sonas gearbox. One smart thing with lines going to things that you remove often is these dry brake fittings. This one is from the release bearing, so you can just unplug it without any leaks. Gearbox all okay, but it was something with the clutch that felt a little bit sketchy. James have a YouTube channel that he shows everything they do with his cars, so it's very interesting. I think they had some problems with power steering pumps. They have tested one pump, two pumps in the front here and in the back. So now we see one here in the front. And this one also looks like an Opel one. Now they're running dry sump on this one as well. The whole body of this car is also this carbon Kevlar. So it's very flexible and good for drifting, I think. Adam Zalewski here, just lost here in top 32, but it's a very nice GT86, this one. And one very popular rear end for drifting cars is this quick change, it's called. It's an American Winters made from the beginning. I know several companies are modifying these ones. You can see this cover here in the back, which actually is some kind of drop gears in there. From there you can change the gear ratio very fast, in a couple of minutes just. All of the fuel system we have back here, ATL fuel cell, pretty big one. Some catch can with looks like some Bosch pumps there. Normally it's the 4-cylinder boxer engine, but this one got a 2J. The Ukrainian team here, and the drive shaft is broke, the carbon fiber one. Looks like it's a new one in there, steel one maybe. This S13 Nissan is a little bit special. It's a really big V8, and this V8 they say it's actually from a NASCAR engine, and it sounds really special to be in V8. I think it was actually carbureted in the beginning when I was driving this one in drifting, but they now have converted it to fuel injection. It's welded in some injector bungs there, some fuel rails, and the drivability got better. I think many of these parts are like NASCAR pieces. CNR is normal in NASCAR. I think maybe this oil cooler as well could be NASCAR. Electronic steering pump. Big air filter with the carbon fiber cover. Yeah, and this one is right-hand drive as well. Livery shining nice here in the evening sun. Looks a little bit like the NASCARs as well, I think, with this number 18 on the side here. These guys are from Finland, by the way. And the water is going everything to the back, and because you don't have an intercooler on this car, it's very roomy here. And maybe this is the only car, I think, here without any turbo or supercharger. Engine wiring harness made from T-Speed maybe. They have some Autosport connectors with some Raycam 90-degree boots, looking really good. We have exhaust temperature, one on each cylinder. That's a good thing, especially if some cylinders are misfiring, you can see what cylinder is misfiring. Here is some kind of lever on the oil system. It says A and K, probably it's Finnish, because if you check other things here, it's all on Finnish. Normally on the NASCAR parts, I have some myself at home. You can see that it is the right stuff on it. What races they use it for, and yeah, what year they put them in, so they have a complete tracking on it. 51268R, I think it's the same oil filters I'm using in my Lamborghini there. And interior here, it's also some NASCAR style with analog gauges. We have a 4-speed, it's a NASCAR gearbox here as well. The bolts here are safety wire to lock them. So yeah, very NASCAR-y. Oh, a lot of those metallic flick switches. The engine is hurt. There is 2 damaged pistons. Actually, pieces of the pistons have got out of the engine, and also the piston rings is yeah, damaged and out. So yeah, they are down on horsepower. From the beginning, it was maybe 700 in this, and now maybe 500. They also have one of these more NASCAR engines at home that makes about 800, and they plan to use 200 horsepower of nitrous. The dry sump pump here, some cooling flanges on it, looking really cool there. It's not the auto-ready one. I know they do on some teams, oil pumps, but not this one. This lever, by the way, is to control if oil should go to the oil cooler or not, so they can do it there manually. Also, the oil tank is from NASCAR, and that one we have back here. With an filler here, it's the Wiggins clamshell coupling. And the rear axle of this one now, it's the Winters one. They had the Nissan last year, but it didn't hold up. Back here we have the radiators, and I also saw this fuel filter, the Injector Dynamics one, with the indicator. You can see this one, if the filter is getting clogged. Actually putting the same one in my Audi at the time right now. We have done some practicing here, and it was some misfires. I think it's good on full power. Check the logs, and it's a little bit rich. I replaced the spark plugs and igniter coils as well, but still the same problem. So I will lift the valve cover and check the valve clearance to see first mechanical that everything is okay. The clearance looks good actually. So practice finished here. Some tires out, and one left the wheel. Looking pretty good. We had some problems with the rubber here on the drive shafts. Yeah, we have to fix this one. Okay, I think the log file is downloaded here. I did download the log file. Yes, I want to view it now. We don't have that much sensors on this car, so here, for example, we have an oil pressure plot. It's on RPM. We don't want to have anything down here. Here's the pressure to the left. So it's easy to see the oil pressure instead of looking for the curve here. We have some here at 2.6 bars of oil pressure at 6.5. Not ideal, I would say, but yeah, I will have to check that one. Boost target. 320 kPa, not gauge pressure there, but the yellow line is what we want, but we don't have the boost really. And throttle position is full there. Temperatures, intake temp on this car is really high, over 100 degrees here, not good. So yeah, you're actually taking down some power because of that. Yeah, we're closer to the boost here in the beginning. Here is a long lift, but yeah, it's slowing down, I guess. I have actually not seen the track yet. I've been here in the pits all the time, so, or in the lineup. But it's interesting. Hopefully I have time to see the cars, because David here is the first one to go to the quali, because this is he's a wild card here. The championship leader Piotr Wojcik is from Poland, and he got not one, but two identical S15s with 2J engine. But after he have started with one car, he's not allowed to switch cars. But yeah, I think he can have all the spare parts and everything from this one. And I think this is the guy with the most resources of all the teams here. Very common to have everything open here. Working on the car here, remove the oil in the rear axle, it looks like. And here we can see also the winter's quick change rear end. We have the 2J with a lot of nitrous. It is dry sumped. The power steering is something that some guys are struggling with. Here they're using an electronic pump here from an Opel with a nice billet bracket. Hypertune intake manifold with red anodized runners with a nitrous going into each cylinder. The dry sump paint is an ARE, and driven by the belt is the alternator, and this is a modified one. You need to have a little bit more current when you drive many fans, fuel pumps, electronic power steering, for example. So yeah, it's good to have a good alternator. Philip Ogren here with an S13 Nissan 200. It is an LS engine, it's an aluminum block and LSR, so it's a race block, I believe, with supercharger, HPS, Kennevel supercharger. We got a big throttle body, like an oval one there. A lot of aluminum here also, welding. Looking nice, shiny and nice. Haltech flex fuel sensor to see the ethanol content in the fuel.
Bulten är kvar där. Ja, har du ramlat ur brickorna emellan eller ligger
Nej, jag lägger den in.
Den
ja,
är
det där går inte in.
som man sitter. Är det någon som bromsar?
This is a very interesting build. It's Dwayne McKeever, also from Ireland, and it got the RB26 engine here with the intake manifold on the right-hand side, and it got a typical classic Grady intake, and it still got the 6 separate throttle bodies. But one very interesting thing is that the engine block is a billet one. Not that common in drifting with the billet engines for now. In drag racing, it's more and more common. Pretty nice wiring harness as well. I like all of these yellow heat shrinks with the text on them, so you can know what the connector is going to. Some mil-spec or race grade bulkhead connectors there for engine loom. It looks like the firewall here is modified. I didn't thought it was allowed to modify the firewall in this series. Big ventilation hole here into the cabin. I hope they cover it before they run. Easy to change the oil filter here. Good location for it, but a little bit messy with it upside down when you remove it. And the fuel pressure regulator is a Malpassi one. Not often I have seen that one in cars in this level. It's a good one, but not that big. Full Kevlar body here on Felix Lindvall's car. We also have the quick change rear end here. Wide fenders and also wide spacers there. Working on the rear end here, the Wise Fab. Drive shaft problem looks like almost the same I did with David's car this weekend. Hopefully they get it together for the next round. Mikael Johansson, the Swedish driver that drives the Swedish race series, his only wild card here. I actually, with my company BJP Race, paid for his entrance fee for this round. Entrance for one wild card is €1,000. Unfortunately, he lost out in the top 32. He's a very good driver. I have been sponsoring him, helping him since he was driving his 242 Volvo with the 4-banger. And yeah, it had the same color, so the color of this one is the same as original Volvo color from 75. It's a 2J engine in this one. He's driving on the Westlake tires. And I think this year about the tires, there's big discussions because there's one brand, Baleno, that they say is a bit different than the others. It's very expensive tires as well compared to like these Westlakes. Also, I heard about that some of these tires, like Westlake, is maybe some years better and some years not as good. So it's like wines. Some years are better and some are not. In the back, we got a battery and the fan. We have the rear axle of this one is the BMW Link ECU. And I know that he always go to Motor Nord in Sundsvall for tuning this car, even though it's a long way for driving in there. Some teams have their own tire mounting machines with them, but there's also some service here in this container. Yep, here we have the shame plate. Very effective way to remove cars from the track. I've only seen this in Sweden, I think. Another Swedish driver here, Jimmy, with an GT86, or is it a BMW? The engine is an BMW. 6 separate throttle bodies, and we get a accu sump. So this one has the normal oil system, but this one helps to put in some oil when the oil pressure drops for a short period of time. Also have some nitrous here as well, for some extra power maybe for some spooling. Some in drifting are using this nitrous like an anti-lag system. Biggest crash of the weekend I think was from Örjan Nilsson. He made a 360 in the air. Rim and some suspension took some heavy damage. We have a very large Garrett intercooler. The fuel pump is mechanical air motive pumps driven by the cam gear here. Many 2Js at Gatubil uses this solution. Field suspension is well known in the US. I don't know how many in Europe using this one, but it's made for drifting, I think. It's Odebach's brand. Time is 1:35 in the night, and yeah, we have the team here. David Skogsby. We did not qualify because technical problems. And props to their organization here. They're putting on some concrete on the outside, so maybe it's a little bit less crashes. This is probably one of the nicest cars here. Time is 6:04 in the morning. Not been sleeping yet. We're here with the Ukrainian guys, and he's working on the team car here. And we have seen that they're driving back and forth here in the middle of the night. It's actually morning. And as we can see, he got the Maggot Motorsports. It's the Flex unit.
Flex unit.
Yeah. We'll do some translation here.
Yeah.
You're Ukrainian?
I'm from Ukraine. Yeah, Belarus.
Belarus, okay. And we had some problems with the drive shafts. And here I see some very nice drive shafts. They have some spares. With the white line, you can see when it twists the size. BVTI on this one.
Good.
Dry sump here also. Got also Bosch pump. It's from BMW. Is it GTR coils? Nissan?
Yes.
Yes.
Nissan GT.
Fury X. Yeah, Link ECU. It's good. This 1 to 7, I have this also. It's very nice. Carbon fiber, vegan interior. The master off. Here we have the ignition wipers, launch and flag. Roll cage here. The roof is carbon fiber as well. We have the Wojcik PDM, the 31, and we have the battery here. DTM connectors. Would be nice with some protection maybe over the possible terminals, but still the original handle here.
Yeah.
It's not like a strap or something. Yeah, and welding of the roll cage. It's very nice.
Yeah, it is.
Good one. In the back here we have the radiator, carbon fiber and Kevlar, everything. It's so nice. Got the radium fuel cell here. You can see it's one lift pump. They have 2 main pumps, and the third one is not connected, so it's possible to put even a third one in there. We can see the morning sun is shining through the Kevlar. And here we have some of this Textreme, maybe more bigger reeve carbon fiber. Yeah, the whole roof is in this